little bit of this program starting at 2, but your Cavs pregame at 4:30 Monday afternoon. And then Tuesday, we're going to start putting people on Bill's tubing team. We're going back to Boston Mills Brandywine for the 10th annual Alan Cox Show Polar Blast Battle. Each one of us with a team. My team, the Coxsicles, against Bill's team. Click, click, tube.
Click, 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 tube. Click, click, tube.
Mary's team, Snow Babies. And Poundcake's team, as of yet, untitled. But he shares his team with Barry White. And you can qualify. We'll do Bill and Mary's teams here during the show. You can qualify to get on Poundcake's team. Submit yourself at AlanCoxShow.com. Just use the keyword Polar Blast for all the details. While we have them, too, you don't even have to be on a team. Plenty of people just come out and hang and enjoy the festivities with us. Those discount tickets are $10.07, but those go very quickly. So there's a link for you to grab those if you like. It's all brought to you by Bud Light. Also, thanks to Charles Scott Salons and Spas, Monster Energy. Prizes from all of them and more for the winning team. And the 3 teams that lose, of course, will be subject to our punishments that we have selected. If Bill's team loses, he'll get the bowl cut and shave his face clean. If the Coxsicles lose, I will be dyeing my eyebrows and beard jet black. For a period of, 2 weeks? Is that what these are?
2 weeks.
If Snow Babies lose, Mary will be dressed as a typical 80s
Full
chick.
80s
Your
get
full
up.
80s get up. Is that going to require some kind of thrift store trip to
It's gonna
find some
have to.
period-appropriate clothing?
Yeah.
Time period, not...
I was going to say, I mean, that I can't really control.
Wear some red leather pants just in case.
It'll be fine.
And then we don't know yet what Poundcake's punishment is.
I think I did think of a team name, though.
What's your team name?
Barely White.
Yes, that's
good.
fantastic.
All right,
That's really good.
Barely White.
I don't know why I just couldn't. I was like, why didn't I think of that
That's-
before?
that's really
it's been in front of me
great.
this whole time.
That's super great.
Barely White.
Really, what's real good.
So if you want to try to get on Barely White, go to AlanCoxShow.com, keyword Polar Blast. DJ Cairo is going to spin. It's always cool to see him. Does a phenomenal job there in the lodge. Because when we're done, we go in and
Hang.
we hang. It's time to get rocked,
and
yeah.
have a good time.
And thanks to Statement Limousine, too, because none of us drive because we want to party.
100 bananas.
Is there going to be 100 more bananas on the party bus this year?
I think there is. The girlfriend has requested off for that night, so
Ooh.
hoping she can come along and bring her banana flask.
Okay.
Banana flask.
Boom, 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 banana flask. So, yeah, that's Friday, February the 7th. That would place it squarely 3 weeks from tonight at Boston Mills Brandywine. You did not miss incarceration tickets if you are hitting me up about those. That will be closer to $520. A lot of people hit me up about Bitcoin. They've never heard me play
have not
Bitcoin
either.
before.
Where have y'all been?
It had to have been a minute since he played it because I haven't
Yeah,
heard it
he's played
either.
a while.
Last decade, but still.
But I mean, people come in and out to the show, and it's Bitcoin was a 77. As of 5 or 6 years ago, the guy was 77, so that would make him. There's simply no way to know how old he would be now.
It's impossible.
You see the world's oldest rapper?
World's dopest.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if Betty White can spit bars, she would probably be the oldest.
You think he's like mixing Metamucil in his vodka? He's like making his own scissor.
Probably. Sure.
I'm performing at my sweet 98th.
She's going to be 100.
Well, again, Betty White only has, if she can make it to 2022, she'll probably be among the oldest people in Hollywood. Kirk Douglas is still alive. There's a handful of oldsters. Mary's team should be the Camel Tubes.
Camel tubes.
Bruce Dern. How old's he? He looks old as dirt.
Oh, yeah, he looks rough, but he's nowhere near Betty White. Bruce Dern is probably 78
53.
years old or something.
Wow.
He's 83.
83. Okay.
Bruce Dern, yeah. Still out there doing
He's
it.
a hard 83.
Hard 83.
If Betty White came on to you, would
I'm
you?
doing it, for the story. And also because it's Betty White.
That's what I'm saying. 98, though.
No, I would not do. No. What?
Well, I'm laying it down.
Well, he has much more bona fides in the grandmother community than I do.
Bona fide.
Coyote!
Hey.
It's not the nature of our relationship.
But if Betty White were to, and I'm trying to think if
What
I've
if she
ever...
loves it and then she leaves you a bunch of money when she passed away?
Or what if she's just some weird horny old lady?
You have really, really earned every cent of that money if that's what happens.
Could you could bang a
have earned-
98-year-old woman.
No, of course
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh my God. I'd be too afraid they'd die while we were doing it.
Yeah, like falls down the steps or something. I'm trying to...
Or a heart attack.
or whatever. Yeah, you just got to make sure that will is signed and notarized.
But you can leave it in.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's one perk.
When you grab it, you'll feel how firm it is.
So Eminem drops a surprise album. Kanye West is taking a lot of heat, though, because he'll be performing at the Awaken 2020 prayer rally. He's been doing this
Gospel
Sunday
thing.
services thing for a while or whatever, and he'll seem to go, if you've got a zip code, he'll come and perform. And but this Awaken 2020 prayer rally is like a huge mega anti-LGBTQ festival.
Oh, wow.
And so people are like, what the hell, Kanye? You know? I mean, granted, he's a Trump dude or whatever, allegedly. You can't tell what's what with this guy. But he's never shown, I don't think he's ever shown any tendency toward, like, the anti-gay Christian right, which I know is redundant, but still. So a lot of people are taking a little bit of an issue with Kanye. You know who Nick Cave is?
Yeah.
Nick Cave has been a singer-songwriter for a long time. He has a band called the Bad Seeds.
I know a porn star named Nick Cave.
I'm sure you do.
Oh.
But
Go Spelunkin.
that's right. Anyway, Nick Cave, the non-gay porn star, is a pretty highly renowned artist in his own right, and he thinks that Kanye West is the greatest living artist because he says making art is a form of madness, and there is no musician on earth who is committed to their own derangement as much as Kanye is. And so in that respect, at this point, he says he is our greatest artist because he's deranged, I guess.
I was going to say Heath Ledger went crazy being the Joker for his art, but he killed himself.
True.
Kill him. Oh, he overdosed, right?
It wasn't on purpose?
No, it wasn't on purpose.
Oh.
No.
Now, whatever you think of Kanye, we're going to have to face facts that he will eventually be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
It's funny. A lot of people have sending me the article. I saw it, but people are still sending it to me. Troy Smith over at The Plain Dealer wrote a column called "Don't Think Whitney and Biggie Belong in the Rock Hall?" Okay, boomer. And again, I get all the arguments for. They're like R&B and blues and gospel, and and I get it. I know Rolling Stone at one point said that Whitney Houston was the biggest snub so far in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I guess I'm in some kind of minority on this, if you'll pardon the pun. You know, part of this, Troy goes in some weird directions. He's like, it's sexist and racist. I'm like, ease off the throttle, bro. It's got nothing to do with that. I'm talking strictly music. I mean, maybe for some people it is, but that ship sailed a long time ago. If you have a problem with artists in the Rock Hall because they're black or female, that ship sailed a long time ago. I'm talking about her, you know, just didn't seem right to me. But whatever, I don't care. It's going to be a good time, good for her. But I thought that's a quality use of the OK Boomer move.
It's funny.
But Kanye will eventually be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that's just the way it is.
Think Eminem will?
I think Eminem will be in the Rock Hall.
Yeah.
Sure.
Most definitely
Yeah.
he will.
I mean,
Jay-Z's
I think
going to be the closest one.
Yeah, I think people who are that prominent in
Yeah.
hip-hop, yeah, they're going to be in there at some point. But there are a lot of bands who have, a lot of rock bands who have still been overlooked. And that's what drives people crazy. Like I said, when I looked at the class of nominees this year, I didn't think it could even go sideways in any capacity. And it felt like it went sideways, you know,
Pretty severely.
pretty severely. But then again, it is 3 rock bands and then Whitney and Biggie. So in the grand scheme of things, who cares? Not the end of the world. I just thought it was extraordinarily strange. And again, I guess I'm in, you know, I don't know.
And when you like rock music, you should check out the video at AlanCoxShow.com. You know, the classic AC/DC song. You were just talking about playing the game Thunderstruck
Yeah.
a couple days ago. Oh, well, this baby is used as an instrument to perform Thunderstruck.
I hope not the drums.
Oh, everything. You'll see.
They use the baby as the drums?
You'll see.
All right.
Let it kick in a little bit.
Wow, that I always think of the time it takes to make these things. Even if you get a billion hits.
It's so much time. That kid is full grown now.
Oh, is that long ago?
I don't know.
I see.
It takes a long time.
But do you remember, is Linkin Park in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
They are not.
They're not.
I don't even think they're
eligible yet because
No.
they're like 98.
But I'm going to say,
something.
yeah, Jay-Z is probably going to be eligible pretty soon because his work came out.
He is, I think.
I think he is.
Because
I think he is.
I remember he had that crossover hit with, it was Jay-Z and Linkin Park, and they came out with that song, the remix to Numb.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to put him in with, I'm sure.
Well, they could put him in
he can put
of
him
his
on
own
his own,
accord.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
they
I'm
don't
just
need
saying,
that. They're not tying Whitney Houston in any rock music.
I'm just saying, but if you say you want to tie, they can tie it in with, he collaborated with Linkin Park, and that was a huge crossover hit. Because I remember when that came out.
It was giant, yeah.
I become so numb. You want
That's
to
what
ride
it
with the
sounded
Brooklyn
like.
Balls. Yeah,
So it sounded like, come on.
exactly.
I mean, listen, depending on how long the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a thing, at some point they're going to be talking about 311 getting into the Rock Hall and Incubus and those kind of bands.
I'm waiting for Yellow Card.
Yellow card.
Three Dog Night. So, rock and roll is not an instrument, said Ice Cube. Rock and roll is a spirit.
Yeah.
NWA is probably more rock and roll than a lot of the people that Gene Simmons think belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Second that notion.
All right, well, there you go. So saith the Cube.
Yeah, yeah,
We had the same spirit as punk
Okay,
rock,
Cuber.
the same as the blues. Cuber.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, well, it's funny, too, because I have friends that go to the New Orleans Jazz Festival every year. And people who are really serious about jazz, they must feel about that the way people who are into rock and roll feel about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Because the 2020 New Orleans Jazz Fest is The Who, Stevie Nicks, Lizzo, the Beach Boys,
What?
Elvis Costello, Brandy Carlisle. It hasn't been a straight jazz festival for a long time. It's more branding than anything else. But if you remember the early days of that and you were really into that, like New Orleans is an amazing city for jazz.
Yeah.
Dixieland jazz, all different kinds, right? And then you flash forward and they're like, oh, who are you going to see? I'm going to see Dead and Company.
Yeah, right.
The Who, Stevie Nicks,
The Who.
The Who, Nile Rodgers and Chic, Lenny Kravitz. So, Ricky Lee Jones. Foo Fighters are going to play.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. Erykah Badu. The Black Crowes. So, whatever. There's plenty of music to go around. I always like when Gwen and I used to go to Austin City Limits every year. We haven't gone for a while because we have a small child now. But when we would go every year, I was always most excited to become a fan of a band that I wasn't that familiar with.
Yeah.
You go for the ones you love. Like we saw Outkast when they reunited one year, and I love Interpol, and they were there. Lana Del Rey, who I was completely ambivalent about until I saw her live, and then I was fully on board. The one and only time I've ever seen Eminem was at ACL.
I've never seen him.
And so you'll discover bands. Any festival you go to, you'll discover a band. And then hope that they last. Because a lot of these festivals, rock or otherwise, they're kind of propped up with baby bands. You know, the 8-point font bands.
Yes.
And invariably...
The 2 p.m. Thursday bands.
Right.
Yeah.
Invariably, those are the ones that I'm interested in. But then like a year later, they're gone. I was like, I really like them. That's too bad. Making their bones on the festival circuit didn't work out for them. Hey, Patrick.
Yes.
What's up?
So, what's the qualification for the time a band has to be together to be in the Rock Hall?
I think your first single has to be 25 years old.
Okay, 311 is eligible.
Okay.
And they've had the same 5 band members
Yeah.
for their entire career. They tour relentlessly. I'm just putting my vote in.
No, I understand.
If Dave Matthews isn't getting in, then 311's not getting in.
Well,
And that's no knock against 311. I'm just saying they're just not probably high enough profile.
No, but that's the weird thing, too, is that it's not done in a linear fashion.
Yeah.
It's not done chronologically. It's not, that's the complaint people have. They're like, how are X, Y, and Z getting in? And you still don't have. I mean, if you look at a list of people who are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it will blow your goddamn mind. Peter Frampton is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ozzy Osbourne is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's
He's in with
bananas.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
He's not in. I think he
solo.
told them to go F themselves, but but like all these.
That's a pretty rock and roll thing to do. Put them in.
Yeah. All these Titans who are not in yet. It's crazy. So
yeah.
I like 311. I mean, they haven't exactly reinvented the wheel, but I like what they do. They do what they do really well.
Yeah. Just first-time caller, by the way.
Hey, thank you, Patrick.
Hey-o.
All right, hey-o. Hopefully not the
Hey-o,
last time.
This time.
Listen, when are Arctic Monkeys going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Bill, that's what I want to know. When is Black Label Society going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? When is Living Colour going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
That's a good one.
I mean,
I know
we're
a song
talking
by them.
mid-'80s for Living Colour.
Cult of personality.
Yeah, you know that one. I know.
It's good.
I saw them open
good that
for
she
the
knows.
Rolling Stones. In
When are they gonna get in?
When are the Rolling Stones? Yeah.
They're probably in.
The Rolling
There's a
Stones?
good chance.
You think?
There's a good chance they're in.
Man.
What about the Beatles? Are
Who?
they in?
Not a rock and roll band.
The Beatles?
Yeah.
The Stones got in like 88. Yeah. I wonder who the first class, I'm sure you can Google it and find out, but I'm curious about who the first class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was. Because, see, John Mulaney has said that he thinks that the Rock Hall just doesn't like Chicago. Because there's all, when grunge was huge, Chicago, once everybody left Seattle or got signed from Seattle, all the labels went to Chicago. So,
That's a really big one.
huh?
The first group, it was 1986. Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Fats Domino, James Brown, Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, and Everly Brothers.
So, like, no contemporary artists then. They were just like, these are people who should have.
Yeah, those are the
They created it
9, 10,
for them,
11,
yeah.
11
the
of them, yeah.
foundation.
All right,
I
listen.
got 311 stuck in my head. Thanks a lot.
Yeah! All right, man. That was a burp. When is Band of Horses going to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Bill?
I don't know.
When are the
I've
Bad
never heard of
Brains
them.
going to get into the
Bad
Rock and Roll
Brains I
Hall
like.
of Fame?
Aretha Franklin was the first woman
Oh, yeah? To do what?
Ever?
be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh yeah, ever. She's Eve, actually.
It's Aretha and Steve, not Adam and Eve.
You're wrong, Mary. She was the first natural woman to get into the Rock and Roll
Yes,
Hall
I
of Fame.
forgot. You're right.
And she's a whole lot of woman.
Yeah! Well, not anymore. but
Especially back then.
Boy, she was. All right, let me break. I'll have those aforementioned incarceration passes for you. 3-day weekend passes. They're coming back to Mansfield, Ohio State Reformatory, July 10th through the 12th. Limp Bizkit returns. Weezer and Blink and Papa Roach and Mastodon and many more for your enjoyment. So I'll have those after the break. 35192 if you want to text, or AlanCoxShow.com.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. The biggest all